Chapter 6. Let's check it out. An architect, sculptor, and architectural historian, Johann Bernhard Fischer von Erlach was born in Graz, Austria, in July 1656. He left Graz to study in Rome in the early 1670s and had the good fortune to enter the studio of the great Baroque sculptor and architect Gian Lorenzo Bernini. He quickly gained a reputation as a gifted architect, which earned him commissions from Austrian aristocracy and also caught the attention of the Holy Roman Emperor Joseph I and the Church. Requested everywhere, he divided his time between Vienna, Salzburg, and Prague before permanently settling in Vienna in 1686. He was ennobled by the Emperor Leopold, who appointed him royal engineer and added the aristocratic von Erlach to his name. He designed the magnificent Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, the Versailles of the Habsburgs. Exercises. Number 1. The American dipper is a small gray bird with a short tail that closely resembles a wren. It is found mostly in the western United States between the Pacific coast and the eastern slope of the Rocky Mountains. This small bird has narrow white feathers on both the upper and lower eyelids that create a white flash as the bird blinks. It has a habit of moving its tail up and down continuously as it sits on rocks near the water. The American dipper feeds on aquatic insects that it catches from stream bottoms. It walks and flies in and out of the swift current, and it appears to walk along the bottoms of fast-moving streams as it searches for food. The American dipper nests in protected areas along stream banks. The nests are insulated with dry moss, and the females lay 3 to 6 eggs. Young American dippers are able to dive for food even before they learn how to fly. Number 2. Constantine Cavafy was regarded as one of the most influential Greek poets of the 20th century. Born in 1863 in Alexandria, Egypt, to Greek parents, Cavafy spent part of his youth in England, where his family had business connections. He loved English and French literature, and generally spoke English. Even his Greek had a British accent. After returning to live in Alexandria in 1885, Cavafy stayed there for the rest of his life. Working as a civil servant for 30 years, he wrote poetry in his spare time. Cavafy consistently refused to formally publish his work and preferred to share it through local newspapers. Cavafy found his own style around the age of 40, eventually producing some 150 short poems that he considered acceptable. Many of his poems are set in ancient Greece and Rome, such as the celebrated Waiting for the Barbarians. With great subtlety, he makes the ancient world reflect upon the present. Number 3. Nancy Roman was born in Nashville on May 16, 1925. When Roman was 11, she showed an interest in astronomy by forming an astronomy club with her classmates in Nevada. Though she knew she wanted to be an astronomer by the time she entered high school, she had to fight prejudice to be allowed to study maths and science at school and university. After receiving a doctorate in astronomy from the University of Chicago, Roman joined NASA in 1959, just 6 months after the agency had been established. When she arrived at NASA, astronomers could obtain data from balloons, sounding rockets, and airplanes. Roman, however, thought that to see the universe through more powerful eyes, NASA would have to send telescopes to space. Through Roman's leadership, NASA launched 4 satellites for the purpose of conducting astronomical observations between 1966 and 1972. Roman tirelessly advocated for new tools that would allow scientists to study the broader universe from space. She died in 2018 and is still celebrated as a driving force behind advances, including the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope. Number 4. The northern mockingbird is a rather plain-looking bird with brownish-gray upper parts and blackish tail and wings. The underparts of its body are light gray, and it has yellow eyes. In flight, there is a noticeable white patch on the wing. As its name implies, the northern mockingbird imitates other birds' songs. Its singing usually consists of a mixture of its own songs with those of other birds. Phrases are repeated several times. Their memory of borrowed songs is impressive, and they are able to reproduce songs 8 months after exposure to them. This species is highly territorial. There are reports of dogs and cats being chased off from breeding territories by this bird. In summer, this species' diet consists primarily of insects, but it also includes snails, small vertebrates, and berries. In winter, however, vegetable matter makes up a large proportion of the diet.